It's Nolan.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Woo. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Victim of constant comparison, breaking away from their rhetoric. Talk to myself like a therapist, like I'm not sharing this, like I've been tethering. Feel for the storm and I weather it. Doubt on myself when I'm better than 80%, I mean 90%, I mean all of these niggas, I'm shredding them. But what does it matter when nobody listens our way? To be honest, my extracurriculars bringing in most of the money I made. I've been comfortable moving my pace, asking from hungry, my nigga, I ate. Wait, glutton for pain, glutton for change. When I went through the struggle, nobody came. Who gon' pay this outstanding balance? Not go fund me when your health fade. Can't move the same niggas, can't depend on the goal of gum, it's just being honest. Sometimes I wonder if it'd all be different if I went to college. Probably not. At the end of the day, niggas need $1. I ain't never had writer's block. Moving independent, could've signed the cash. Trying to take the business to a higher notch. Finna kill the game, better call the cops, but I'm cool. I ain't got too much to be tripping about. Got a full fridge and a clean house. Got a 60-inch and a nice couch. Got a fine lady, she a great spouse. Making life plans for the future. Sometimes what's good for you might taste funny, kombucha. Ayy, but I got the master key. Making the masterpiece. Put on my everything into this craft. You can judge it right after I leave. What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everybody is doing well. All right. As I stated in my previous video with the Dad Gang hats, I know some of y'all been asking about them. I've got a code for y'all. You can go to dadgang.co, use my discount code J Nolan 58020. You'll get 15% off. So yeah, I know folks was like, is that your brand? Is that something you're doing? No, it's not my brand, but I am a partner now. So you can use my code. You get 15% off on all of their hats, merch, etc. They got plenty of varieties. Y'all seen some of them, some of the flavors that we got over here. I love them. Their brand is dope. They'll actually respond to you. They'll talk to you. They'll post you in the story, all that good stuff. I rocks with them. All right. Now, in this video, we're going to be going over Big Sean with his new album, Better Me Than You. All right. This is not a full review. Unfortunately, I did not feel that the album was good enough to be reviewed in that fashion. However, we are going to talk about it, and we're also going to get into the Joe Budden podcast where they identified Big Sean as this generation's Fabolous. And if that sounds crazy to you, it struck me too when I heard it. But once I thought about it, I said, that might not be a bad comparison. It might not be on the nose. I said that I feel like Big Sean was this generation's Luda, right? Somebody that you don't really take serious. He came in with a lot of comedic bars, and then as he tried to get serious over the years, I feel like people just kind of accepted that he wasn't one of the bigger artists, and he kind of was relegated to where he is now. Some people agree, some people disagree, but now we've got a new challenger. They say, hey, he's the new Fab, which Fab was also one of those artists where first few albums I feel like was his best work personally. After Street Dreams and the More Street Dreams mixtape project that he dropped, I kind of fell off the wagon on Fab. Loso's Way and everything else since then, I have not been a fan of. Now, there have been moments where Fab was doing some good shit with some stuff on the Soul tape. I think that was a little overhyped, but people wanted to hear a return to form. What was the freestyle tape he did with DJ Clue years ago? He was bodying some of those freestyles. The project with him and Freddie and Jason, him and Kiss, that was actually a solid project. I think that was probably the end of the saga for me when it came to Fab. I've seen that he's dropped some stuff here and there, music videos, whatnot. Sounds like he still can rap, but I don't care no more. You know what I'm saying? And that's not a shot at Fab. It's just where I'm at with it. And I think a lot of people are in that same position with Big Sean as of today. So we're going to go through all of those things. First up, let's go ahead and pull up the clip from the JBP and get into their assessment as to why they feel Big Sean is this generation's Fab. Get you a snack or something. This clip is not short. If they start rambling and getting too far into it to where I feel like it's not even being conducive to the conversation, I'll cut it off.
Undropped.
This was the revised version of the album after it leaked. So, because he went back and
filled in the blanks.
Yeah.
Better Me Than You is the name of this project.
Big Sean is Fabulous for this generation.
Was it good?
Holy shit.
Wait, excuse me?
Fab. He's fab for this generation.
Oh,
He
Fabulous.
walked
Like,
right out there with it.
Yeah.
He didn't hesitate at all. Wow.
And I don't know how to elaborate more without potentially offending someone. It's not a bad
and
thing.
Parks don't jump out like that.
It's
too
just a
often.
thing to me. That's what I got from press and play this morning.
I want to try to challenge him, but I can't.
I'm trying to think. He
but wait,
I mean,
hold
my
on.
only thing is Fab's longevity is
Shit, Sean been around for a minute now.
Yeah, but for this generation, they track.
Yeah.
Did we not enjoy the project? I know it just came out. It might be too soon. Maybe we need another listen. Maybe we need it to grow on us.
I needed quite a few more listens.
Guys.
What, man? It's hard for me. I compare artists to their discographies.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard for me to hear Dark Sky Paradise, Big Sean, and then hear pretty much
Finally famous, Big Sean.
Yeah, this it's gonna sound really fucked up what I'm about to say, and I apologize if anybody gets offended, but I'm just not a fan of mental health rapping Big Sean.
Gee,
Like
damn.
the therapy, the meditation, all that positivity, it just don't sound right in
Authentic?
the music. No, it's authentic. It's who you are today.
Okay.
But it almost feels like something's missing now in the music. Like you've gotten to a place of peace and tranquility in your life that it don't sound good in the music. And that's not fair because you want somebody to better themselves however they need
So it's
to.
almost like the critique that Mary J. Blige used to get a lot. You know, whenever she was in pain, she made really good music, but then when she was happy, people were like,
I wouldn't say that because I don't feel like he was putting like a ton of pain in some of the music. that we love from him.
That's why I don't it's not that.
Okay.
It wasn't pain. It's just he just sounds too peaceful.
Yeah, like Chance Jr.
Yeah.
It's like Chance Jr. Like on this project, I heard a lot of.
That's fucked up. How you gonna be junior to a nigga you like 10 years older than? That's fucked up. Not Chance Jr. Why you ain't say Chance Senior? Chance Senior would have been nice. You junior to a nigga 10 years older, younger than you. God damn.
I love my wife so much, and then when I'm hurt, I'm calling my family. My family tell me I gotta keep going, and when I keep going, I stand on my stool. I'm saging the house. I can get rid of these demons. The devil is biting me. Like, dog, like respectfully, because I like that shit. I just don't like him doing it without big budgets. I feel like what you're saying, and a little bit of what you're saying, is kind of what I'm saying. I like my Big Sean with a bigger budget, because Dark Sky Paradise, and I mean this may be credit to Drake, but Blessed is kind of a mental health record.
Yeah.
I live the life I deserve. Funny how they made it, internet, but he just made it
It's
work.
dressed up in a way that's not so on the
beat,
nose.
Yeah, the beat was dark. The hook is fire. Like he's given us fly mental health bars before. I just don't like it without the big production and the big hook.
I don't want to sound like I feel like we're being hard on Sean because the album's not bad. It's not bad. It's not a bad album.
So
to
where's,
me.
No, it's
so
not.
where's the big production?
It's not a bad project.
How's the big production missing? Does it have something to do with him being independent and funding it
I don't know
himself
if
or
he's
something?
independent.
Well, this project
I don't
don't
care.
say independent. It says whatever the new name of Def Jam is. Def Jam Umbrella, Def Inc. Whatever they did. Licensed by Def Jam, licensed by UMG, all that under there.
Yeah.
So real quick, if I ask you guys to elaborate on a Fabulous correlation, it would offend somebody.
Potentially, I don't want to
Okay,
dive too deep because
I mean he's been around Fab, so I would want to hear because he said that you jumped right out there. So obviously there's some basis to your claim. So I want to hear what he had to say about that because he's been around it.
I'm not mad at the correlation.
I don't understand though, like what, like, cause Fab, I don't understand. I don't understand. Fab had a great career to me.
for sure, it's not a knock. It's not a knock. I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Parks, don't be caping now. Don't be caping now, Parks. We want to know what you meant. All right, when Drewski say, "What do you mean by that?" Let us know what you mean by that. All right.
Saying that he's this generation's Fab.
Yeah, like
He's just kind of like,
Well,
he's
Fab-
not Hove. He's not, and Sean is not Drake. He's not at that level.
Okay.
He still makes very good music. It just doesn't necessarily reach to that.
oh.
It sounds like both of them had the potential to go to that next level and never got there.
Yeah.
And that's not a shot.
like there's a
It's
ceiling.
not a shot. Yeah.
And it's not a shot, but it sounds like a shot.
I
It
see what
sounds-
you're saying. I see what you're
It's
saying.
not, it don't sound the nicest. But it's not a bad thing.
But maybe
See, I mean, for me, one of the only differences between them two is Fab had a really, really, really deep girl bag.
Sean's got a lot
Sean-
of
I know
good
Sean's
records,
got a
though.
girl bag.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
just don't think it's on par with Fab's girl bag. That's my opinion, one. And two, Fab was embraced by every MC in his era.
Yes.
There was never another MC that was trying to hinder him, blackball him, challenge him, or just hold him back. And I think some of that does exist for Sean. Like Sean's class, I don't feel like was the kindest to him, especially when he wasn't around yet.
Yeah, but with Sean's class, he still got in the. He was able to get out there with all of them cats the same way Fab was.
He's got records with basically
He got
everybody.
Everybody
Yeah.
from that era, Sean has records with.
On the strength of Kanye.
Maybe.
Whatever reason, he has those
He has
records,
them.
and
I
he
understand that.
and he Big Sean'd on them records.
Fab never had a Kanye.
That's true. That's true. That is a big difference.
Fab had Clue and Dora.
Yeah,
That's true.
And shout out to Clue and Dora. Like,
Oh, for sure,
yeah.
shout out to Clue and Dora.
No.
Hey, Dora, I thought you were supposed to call me.
All right, y'all going too far. Now, that's kind of y'all led me to the right direction because I was gonna make a pointer about this as well. With this new album from Big Sean, Better Me Than You, you definitely feel the void that him not having Kanye around has created. Now, unfortunately for Big Sean, working with Kanye over the years, it seems to have been a rocky relationship, right? Number one, if you go back to the beginning, when Sean put out his first mixtape, You Know Big Sean, that was music that he was working on, while he was still working. He couldn't necessarily claim good music during the time he was recording that stuff, but he was already signed. Ye finally let him put it out. And Ye only did like a intro drop on the mixtape. But he sounded very derivative of Kanye, right? But then after that mixtape came out, Kanye made Big Sean stop physically writing. He basically told him, you shouldn't have to write your lyrics down because clearly, if you got to think about it, you don't really mean it. You need to be coming from this soul and just spit your shit out. Let it come from within type of thing, because that's what Ye claims to have done, which he picked up from Hove. State Property and them niggas don't write. I don't know if Kiss writes either. It's certain people. I know Styles P says he doesn't. So it's a lot of guys that kind of picked up on the Biggieism of, I don't physically write lyrics on paper, but I come up with my shit, right? And then later down the line, we get the remnants of that from like Wayne and so forth. A lot of the new artists today don't write either. They do the punch in. I think a lot of them would be well serviced if they got pen to pad, but we're not going to reverse time, are we? So that was like one of the first tests in the camp, right? Made him uncomfortable. He definitely pushed through. He was able to sustain. He was able to put out good music. Some might say he even got better from that point forward, right? But then when you look at Big Sean's discography and some of the hits that he's made over the years, he had that evil genius in Kanye to push and pull something out of him. And I think he was giving some of that same energy to Kanye, which actually helped him elevate as well. Of course, there was other people in that camp. You had Consequence, you had Sean, you had Cudi, you had Sci-Hi, you know what I'm saying? So you had Travis Scott. So you had Ye had his pick of the litter. Depending on what type of vibe he wanted to be on. If he wanted to be on conscious, he could go to this nigga. He wanted to turn up, he can go to this nigga. He want bars, he can go to this nigga. You know what I'm saying? So he kind of had a lot to bounce off of. But again, you still have Kanye, who's infamous for, if it's not right, we're going to push it till it's right. If the snare ain't hitting hard enough on this record, it's not coming out until we get the snare right. If the sample ain't right, if this ain't right, if it's not sonically hitting the way it should, we're going to work on this motherfucker for the next 18 months on one snare. Like, he's that obsessive, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But when you get those really high quality projects, he gets the credit for being so anal about it. So I think Sean was missing that energy in the studio, because there's some records on there that would have been doper, but they just don't beat the way that they're supposed to. Now, when you get into the actual records, I'm going to talk about the songs I like, not the ones that I don't. There's only 7 or 8 records on this project that I like, and there's 21 on there. So I liked Iconic. right? That's track 2 on the project. He had really good bars, and he had really good bars throughout the entire album. So it's not like Big Sean has any lack of rap skill or that he's like taking a step backwards in his ability to rap. It's just at times you don't care what he's rapping about. And then on the other side, there's the issue that Big Sean and Drake are the real Spider-Man meme. If we're going to keep it all the way a buck. Not Cole, not Kendrick, it's Drake and Sean. And the reason why they're the Spider-Man meme is because you could go all the way back through both of their careers and you'll see elements that they picked up from each other. Drake, he's infamous for stealing the Big Sean super duper lemonade flow. The I am super duper, you know what I'm saying, boss of the shit, Cooper, or whatever the fuck he said, right? And then everybody ran with that, the one word punchline shit. And Drake ended up turning that into his first couple albums, right? First name ever, last name greatest, or some shit, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the fuck that was. And turned it into some shit, right? And then on Big Sean's end, he pulled a lot of Drake's melodies. So a lot of the music that Big Sean has created over the years, when he gets into his melodic bag, it's very reminiscent of Best I Ever Had. Baby, you my everything. You all I ever wanted. Right? Which originally is attested to Kia Shine. We talked about that as well, which is crazy. But they pulled from each other. And to this day, on this Better Me Than You album, you still have Big Sean pulling from that same source of melody whenever he tries to sing or whenever he tries to, like, you know, do softer records. That's his go-to bag, right? It's like same shit. You've been doing this shit. It's 2024. I think your first album came out what year? 2011? What year did that Finally Famous shit drop? Finally Famous, the album. Cause I could be tripping. Dun, dun, dun. 2011, yeah. I know I wasn't tripping. So you've been kind of pulling from this same reservoir for like 13 years. And although your bars have gotten better, it's just a constant, consistent formula where you haven't really expanded beyond your palette, which means we pretty much know what you're going to make before you make it. And who wants to keep buying into that? So for Sean, I think he needs somebody in his corner, like a real producer. Unfortunately, him and Kanye ain't gonna, is over with. You know, Kanye owed him millions of dollars. He accepted less to not have to go through court. They've been publicly, you know, embroiled in a back and forth of some sort. Big Sean's tried to take the high road in that issue, but you see it affects him. Unfortunately, the fans have kind of caught on to his formula, which also affects him because it's kind of like, I'm trying to put out music. I'm trying to like compete at a high level. I've taken my breaks. I've taken time to heal. I've taken time to, you know, try to impart positivity and ascension into my music. And I'm hoping that I could bring fans along with me. But unfortunately, the majority of fans are saying, I'm not down for that ride with you. You know what I'm saying? So he's catching a lot of different rejection from a lot of different directions. So I understand, like, he got emotional the day before the album came out. We talked about that. And as much as I can relate to his emotions and the way he feels, unfortunately, it's just not going to change how people perceive you unless you do something drastic, unless you give us something like, I wish the album would have had more moments like Precision, right? Let's get back to the records. So Iconic, dope record, good raps, but the track Don't Bang the Way. That was the primary song I'm talking about, where It just don't hit as hard as it could. You also hear the remnants of Drake influence, or Drake being influenced by him, which in turn sounds like he's influenced by Drake. Unfortunate. Especially with what Drake is going through right now, where people don't want to hear him. People don't want to hear nothing that reminds them of him. Big Sean is catching backlash, or not even backlash, but he's catching the after effects of that as well. Because it's like, every time I've seen people down my timeline say, every time I turn on this Big Sean album, all I think about is Drake, and I don't want to hear Drake. It's tough, man. Typecast. I like Typecast. They want me to play my role, but they can't typecast me. There's another record that's technically good. The bars are good. The vibe is good. It just doesn't introduce anything unique. It's not interesting. It's something we've already heard. Right? I liked Who You Are. This might be one of my favorite tracks from the project, right? It's a good song. It's one that the women can get with. It's one of those songs where you can pick out the bars and turn them into IG captions, which is always a positive when it comes to the ladies listening to your music. But again, it sounds like something we've heard Sean do before a few times and possibly done it better before. I do like the tasteful usage of Usher's Superstar sample in here without trying to recreate that record, without trying to use the sounds. You just hear the in the background, but it's like kind of smothered out by the rest of the production. I like that. I liked it all the way up until the Dream started singing. You could have left Dream off. Dream could have definitely slept a little longer. Okay. It is what it is. I liked It Is What It Is. I liked it up until Gunna came in. And that's another thing on the project. Some of these features, unnecessary. You could have held it down on your own. But then, of course, we would have complained about that too. No features. Niggas would have said, where the features at? You just in a catch-22, man. When it comes to Gunna, I'm a 50-50 listener on him. Like, when I first heard Gunna, I was like, oh, okay. He kind of reminds me of, and I'm talking about just his career, not when I first heard him on the track. Well, it kind of reminds me of Thug, but then he kind of reminds me, he's not Lil Baby, but he's kind of in that vein. He's not Future, but he's popping his shit, but it's different. And ever since I first heard him, I've kind of had that vibe with him. It's like, do I like this or do I not? Sometimes he has these moments where he's rapping, but he don't want to open his fucking mouth. And I'm like, bro, what are you trying to say? What are you trying to convey? Like, communicate, nigga. And then other times, it works. Like that, what was it, 101? I think he did a pretty solid job on that album. The album that recently came out. You got the Feel Good record. You gotta move on up. I like that record. It came out before the project. I like it. I like the substance. I like the feel good nature of it. I like the fatherhood bars. I could definitely relate to that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a new father myself. I've been that for 8 months, and it's a beautiful thing. Most beautiful experience I've ever had in my life, especially doing it with the woman that I love, and we're lockstep in this thing. Like, I can relate to that. I fuck with that, right? I like the music video he did for that particular track where the whole entire video is shot through his child's eyes of seeing the family, you know what I'm saying, and all of that different type of shit, because we never get to really see what life looks like from that perspective. So that was a pretty creative idea. I think this is the type of music that Big Sean wants to make on a more consistent basis. Unfortunately, in the time period that we live in, the turn up period, the party, the club, the competitive nature of everything that comes out, you try to make that type of music, they put you in the common category. And once you go into the common category, you're now seen as washed up. Unfortunately, I'm not saying Common is washed up. I'm just saying if you put Big Sean in the common category, what's the next thing that's going to follow? He washed. Right? Precision. Still my favorite song from the album. And unfortunately, my favorite song from the album, it came out, it came and went, it got overlooked. A lot of people didn't give it a chance. A lot of people didn't listen to it. A lot of people didn't even give a fuck once they did hear it, it's like, it ain't special enough for me to care, right? But I like that record a lot. Together Forever, I like that record a lot. I like him and Alchemist. I like the sound of it. I like the vibe. Again, he could have stood to do more in that similar vein throughout the album, but he just doesn't have proper guidance, you know. And that's not to say that he's like some lost, misguided kid or no shit, but every artist needs a few people or somebody that's like really got an expert ear that can say, all right, let's reel this in, let's fine tune this. Like I said with the Doechii thing, like, let's turn this sketch into a portrait. That's like the best thing that I can relate it to. So out of 21 songs on the album, I like 7. That's like a 30% ratio. So I kind of got to give it, you know, a less than savory rating on a scale of 1 to 10. I got to give it like a 4. You know what I mean? And sadly, it's not because he can't rap. It's just the fact that when I listened to it, I didn't even finish it on the first listen. Right? I listened to more of Doechii's project than I did of Sean. I sat through her whole shit. When it came to Sean, I got bored. I kind of fell asleep. And that's unfortunate. Going back to the whole Fabolous thing, I kind of get where Parks was coming from, right? Somebody who has the talent, has the skill of some of his larger counterparts, but for whatever reason, his presence just doesn't cut through the same way, right? I think Fab at his height was perceived as a bigger star because he had less competition, right? He had the benefit of dropping his debut album on 9/11, so when people, you know, it was just him and Jay-Z. You know, although his project was overshadowed by Jay-Z, it was the perfect counterpart to drop a debut album with Jay-Z because he was kind of like a mini Hove. He never kind of got over the hump of being a mini Hove or you know what I'm saying? He's kind of like a Jadakiss Hove mashup. Some people would even say Mace. But he kind of stayed in that box. So even as he got to be a bigger artist, he was always in the conversation, but at a certain point, Fab did kind of fade from the conversation, and a lot of it was due to his, you know, seemingly calm demeanor. He didn't really come outside a lot. He didn't talk a lot. Just seemed to be too cool for school type shit. And others that were willing to promote themselves a little differently, come out and pop their shit a little bit more, do more interviews, do more TV shit, go into other ventures. They overshadowed him, and then at a certain point, it was almost like Fab popped back out, and it was like, you ain't as nice as you used to be. Like you're not finna fool me with this girl you be killing them stuff. You know? So I can understand where that Big Sean Fab comparison comes into play. I don't know if I agree 100%, but I get it. He's the, you know, like J. Cole said he was the middle child. I feel like Big Sean is the stepchild. And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm really not. But he's the stepchild, right? He's able to do a lot of good shit. But when it comes down to it, it's like, you know, this really ain't your house. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. Like, you got your freedom, nigga. You got your food. You could go eat. You could be a part of the festivities, birthdays, all that type of shit, nigga. We gonna watch wrestling tonight. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker, we can wrestle it out when wrestling go off. It's all good, baby. We fam. But soon as he start popping shit and getting too big for his britches, it's like, just remember that my daddy really ain't your daddy. Damn, why you do me like that? I'm just letting you know, nigga. Don't ever come out your face too enthusiastic. Cause you could always go back and live with your mom. That's what it's been like for Big Sean in the industry, man. It sucks. But we got to be honest about the situation, and we see it playing out in a multitude of ways. Let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, become an insider. Big shout out to, let me go ahead and give a shout out to my newest member, Miss JP. Greatly appreciate you joining the membership on the channel. Hope you're enjoying your stay here. Big shout out to all of the members on the channel. Big shout out to everybody that's supported, all the subscribers. We're at 14.3 thousand subscribers. It's great. We're pushing to that 15. I'm hoping to get as close to 20 as we can before the year is out. So tell a friend to tell a friend. It's him again. And once again, if you like these dad hats, these dad gang hats that I be wearing in the video, go to dadgang.co. You can use my code J Nolan 58020. You get 15% off on checkout. Plenty flavors for you over there, man. Again, it's not my brand, but I am now a partner. All right. Much love and respect. I'm going to catch y'all later. Peace. Get this off. Bang.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming, I swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. But I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. But drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they died of me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but you run no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.